Hey guys, back again for part two. We left off with Emily and Brennan, and so we're going to just wrap that up and then get into the meat of the episode, which we all know is Lauren and Orion. So let's do it, Mom.
Let's do it. So for those that maybe didn't watch episode one, part one, we are recapping Married at First Sight that aired last night. And we are wrapping up the couple, Emily and Brennan. We are currently at the point in the episode where the experts are visiting all the couples because this is move-in day.
Mm-hmm.
And so with Emily and Brennan, Pastor Cal come to visits, and it becomes apparent that Brennan, for some reason, is just not physically attracted to Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Cal says, what can we do moving forward? Like a mitigation plan, if you will. And
as always, like he always does, yes.
He does. He's a good resolution guy. I like him.
That's what I'm saying. You have a different opinion of Pastor Cal than I do. I think that he pushes people together that have no business being together. But okay.
Well, my opinion is he tries to give people a chance to get out of their own way. And there are a lot of times in relationships we get in our own way. And I feel like, and this is my opinion, that Brennan is giving spoiled brat. Okay. I think he wants his own space. I think I don't think he's an only child, apparently, according to Bria, he's not, but he's giving that energy. I think that maybe Emily in Cancun was a little bit off-putting to him. He's not used to people challenging him.
Now, did you see in his first little interview or confessional type thing where he said like it gave Playboy, like he said something like every girl has said that like I'm the best sex they've ever had. Remember that? Remember that though? You remember that?
I actually don't, because to be honest with you,
but I think, honestly, I think that's also why they matched them together,
because they have a party dumb attitude. However, I will say I was not fully invested until we got to the Bachelorette issues and they were actually matched. I don't have time for the beginning stuff. It's just not for me. But I will say,
but it's important that it take that into consideration though when you're like trying.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. It makes sense. I don't know that he's ready.
No.
And so, honey, I mean, you're in Cancun, you're having fun, but when you get home and reality hits and you got to go to work and you have to come home with this person, and maybe you just don't really like them that much. I don't know. Right. It seems like that's what's going on here.
Right. And I did. I literally thought it'd be the opposite. I thought that she would be the fun, like outgoing,
both thought that.
And when they got back, it would be different. They did a complete switch on us.
Totally. We both thought that. Which is shocking because she seems totally on board to be committed and do the work. And like that was totally opposite of what her personality was giving in the beginning of the season. So who knew?
Right.
But we're going to wrap them up and we're going to go on over to Claire and Cameron. And they were visited by Dr. Pepper. She asked them, I like Dr. Pepper, by the way, guys. I mean, Pastor Cal is my fave. Bria, not so much, but it's my fave.
I like Dr. Pepper. I think Dr.
Pepper lets people off the hook too much. Dr. Pepper lets people off the hook too much.
She does.
She surely does.
I don't know if I would. I think that what she tries to do is meet them where they're at. I think that's what she tries to do. Now, it comes across as like letting them off the hook, but I do. I think that she tries to meet them where they're at to try to get them to where she needs them to be.
I got that. Okay, so I'll give it to you, Bria. I'll give it to you. she asked them where do they need guidance, because they come to show up because at this point they've gone on their honeymoon, they've done their wedding day, they've met family. And she's like, at the point, all of the experts, by the way, are at this point, they visit because they want to see, as we're settling into our new home, what do you need in this space and this time to help you continue to flourish in your marriage? So they needed help with physical intimacy.
Yes.
So Claire made the comment that she has to have a true good emotional connection before she can be physically intimate. Understandably, I think who grown, right? You know what I mean?
I mean, literally, the guy put like what, pillows between them the first night.
They did.
So
Listen, there is never, and when I watch this show, because I've said on previous episodes that what I love about Married at First Sight is the therapist aspect, because it makes you introspect and think about things like, well, should I have done this different or whatever?
yes,
Handle this.
yes.
If I was in that situation, what would I do? It really makes you become very introspective and think about. I love to people watch and philosophize. That's my thing. So this is a good show for me. And I understand that because when you get grown, that's important. One has to coincide with the other. If it don't, because we've seen couples on Married at First Sight that got busy on the first night and they did not last, because that is not, it's totally deeper than that. Marriage is so much deeper than that. That is a part, but not all. And you have to remember these people at this point, we are literally on day 9. So, okay, Claire, I hear you, girl. So, Cameron, being the consummate gentleman, I mean, he's down, he understands. Dr. Pepper's like, well, are you ready? He's like, absolutely. But what she doesn't explain to them is that intimacy and physical intimacy, it's not simply a sexual act or, the act of actually having sex. It could be a touch, hand holding, all that. And she asked, was she comfortable with those things? And she absolutely was. At that point, she reaches over and grabs Cameron's hand, which I thought was beautiful. And Cameron's like, yeah. And she's like, this feels good. So, Bria, I have high hopes for them. You?
They're not high. They're probably like maybe middle. Medium height hopes for them.
Fair. Totally fair.
But yeah, I think that they have the potential to grow into something great. I feel like there's a lot of inner I don't know if she's attracted to him. I don't know if the religion thing is gonna be a deal breaker, because Catholicism is rigid. It's
extremely rigid.
And she said that she respected it, but when you can kind of feel like an undertone in that, where it's like, yeah, I respect it, but we're probably not gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do, because I mean, there are some things, but I like when I said I have high hopes, I do, because I love to see the effort that they're both putting in. Because I thought was gonna like look and run. She didn't. She stayed in there, and then Cameron really stepped up on the honeymoon. With the flowers and the trying to understand her, because he has quirks. I thought it was beautiful how they tried. Religion is a big deal.
It is.
And then Catholicism is a very, like you said, a rigid denominational religion. And the fact that, okay, guys, to clue you in, so part of the discussion is they talk about religion. Religion is a big thing, okay? Anytime you are getting in a relationship of any kind, there's politics, children, finances. All those things are like huge, right? But this is
Right.
big. It's big, 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 particularly if you want to have children.
Exactly.
So she is Catholic. And she
Right.
expressed that at one point she left the Catholic religion for a while, but she had lost her brother, and that loss brought her back. So for her, it's really important because that's what she grasped to get
Yes.
herself back in line, her faith. I mean, after you lose a sibling, can't imagine. I don't know the circumstances of her sibling's death, but Claire is young enough that I would think that it probably was tragic. So,
Oh yeah. She talked about it like the first episode. That's why she's so heavy into mental health now, because her brother unalived himself.
oh,
Yes.
okay.
And so, yeah, I think that being rooted with, in your faith
It helps.
can help, absolutely can help you
You
to
have to have something that helps you make sense of
understand.
something. So
Yes,
Claire,
to make sense
right.
of, right. Because I'm also one of those people that it has to make sense to me, or else I'll go crazy. I'll lose my mind.
Right. And let
So,
me put a pin there because I said this on my last podcast. We at Alleged actually are huge proponents of mental health. If you ever
absolutely.
feel like you have suicidal ideologies or you're struggling with mental health, we encourage you to please talk to someone and to get therapy because it is a wonderful thing.
It is.
We are strong proponents of
Period.
taking care of your mental health. So
Mhm.
we're going to put that out there.
Yeah.
But getting back to the episode, Cameron was raised Christian, and he apparently did something that got him kicked out of church at 10 years old. Child, I can't imagine.
I can't either. He said that he said something at 8, and I'm like, kids say a lot of things.
He
What
was
did he say?
10. And so I
Right.
wonder what church was Christian that kicked you out at 10?
Right, because
Suffer the
technically,
little ones to come unto me. Children are like, listen, they're not supposed to know it all. They're kids. They
right.
didn't pass until you're 13.
That's
So
crazy. And that's
what are
why
we
I
talking
feel
about?
like he's so
And that's my belief. So, okay, let me preface this, guys. I am a Christian. Our conversations and beliefs are solely ours. We're not pushing it on you. That is my belief. Okay. So but with the fact that he said at 10 years old he was kicked out of a Christian church, it does give me pause.
Guys. Yes.
Yeah.
And after something, because that's traumatic for a 10-year-old, I would imagine.
Of course.
I can imagine he would be completely just turned off. Now, like I said, I'm not sure. I've grown up, Christian. I've been to other churches that were a lot more, I don't want to keep using the term rigid, but just a lot,
It's fine if you want to use the term rigid. That's fine.
Yeah, just a lot more. Even know how to. Yes, strict. Not being able to wear pants. So I do know that there are a lot of other churches that are just very like, you have to do this, or else you will go to hell.
They're very doctrine.
Yes, doctrinated. Yeah,
doctrine driven. Yes, absolutely.
that's the word I was looking for. But yeah, so when you deal with something like, and we know people who've grown up in churches like that, and they grow up and just go the opposite way of everything they're taught.
Yep,
because you think, okay, I must be a bad person if I'm having these thoughts, or if I like this thing, or if I want to wear this, or I'm saying religion taught wrong or incorrectly, or
Right.
just could lead people to just go the complete opposite way.
Understood.
I've seen
Completely
it,
agree.
and that's what I kind of get from him. Like, he was raised very
And
very
the
religious,
children, yeah.
yes, traditional, like traditional religion, kind of,
Right.
you know.
Right. And I understand that. And it's odd. I mean, you know, I want to delve deeper in that, but I will not for the sake of this
No,
podcast.
yeah,
That's for a separate conversation.
right.
However,
Trying to be,
they do decide that religion, they do want to have children, and that's a big conversation, and they've decided that religion, that he would like to teach his children that not under any particular religion, but the world is gray, and
mhm.
that that they are to have love, kindness, whatever, like the same values or whatever. And she respects it but disagrees because she's Catholic. And for now, I think they're putting a pin. I think that her hope is that as they get closer, perhaps that won't be an issue. We will see, because Catholic, we'll see. Okay,
Yeah, well, we'll see.
we'll see.
There you
All
go.
right, moving right along to Becca and Austin. Pastor Cal visited them,
Did.
and he also had the question if they had consummated their marriage physically, and they have not. That's not a bad thing.
Which was, it was surprising to me, but yeah, it's not a bad thing at
It's
all.
not a bad thing, but it was surprising because they are
Mhm.
so connected. But
They are.
again, that's your right. Again, everybody keep in mind this is day 9, so
Mhm.
literally a week and change. So I get
Yeah.
it, totally get it. So they talk
Now,
about
okay. Go ahead.
no, they talk about the children aspect, because there are certain
Mhm.
questions that the experts are supposed to ask just to see where they're at, to see if they're on the same um if they're on this, if they're like literally on the same side about how they want to progress as a couple, because these are big things. Religion, children, all of they're huge, right?
Mhm.
That can mend or break relationship. So with them children, she said she was not 100% sold on having biological children of her own, but if he wanted to, she would try. He definitely wants kids.
Mhm.
Little words like there.
There is, and you know what else? Because I'm on Reddit, kind of like glancing at what other people are saying, and someone kind of printed something out to me that I've thought, but I don't want to like say it out loud.
What?
That Becca's desperate,
Desperate.
and yeah, and I think that it's working because she gives me also someone who people pleasing.
She does give off people pleasing. She does.
Yeah. Um, and now I don't know. I don't. Ugh. Because I think that she's sweet. I think that she's nice, but I think that
You don't think it's an act, do you?
no, I don't think it's yeah, I think I think that he can kind of see a little bit that she's just very eager to want to make it work with him.
Yeah.
Yes, like she wants this marriage to work bad.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Um, I think, like I said, I don't trust. I don't know. I hope. I hope that they do. Why are you looking at me like
I
that?
just want to hear your thoughts because I'm just kind of like, these are the couple that I'm really rooting for. So I just want to
Yes,
know your thoughts.
me too. However, I am, you know, I'm a bit of a cynic. Um, it's just something just does not feel genuine with them, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know if it's that she just wants it to work so bad that he's not being completely genuine with, with what he wants. Ooh, I don't know. It's just something that won't let me be like, yes, this is the couple that is going
You're gonna
to
make it, right?
be the, right, to
Like
be
the
the,
pro number
what was
one
that?
couple.
What was that couple last time on
Oh my God, on
Nashville?
Tennessee. And I can't remember their name, but the wife just set the tone and just
And
drove
she
all
was
the
like the leader,
discussions
the leader of
right
all the
now.
other couples.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, totally. I
but
really, there was
like,
just a lot of that. This is not
yeah,
me, but
she's trying
but
to
she,
take on that
yeah,
role. Like, yes,
kind of
like we
sort of.
had the best marriage out of everybody, and we're doing the work. We're taking this seriously, and that's
And we're progressing and growing, and we're so
yes,
close. Yeah, I get
and
it.
we're so happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I hope I hope it works, but I don't know. Something it's just telling me it's not.
Okay. Well, we will stay tuned and find out more to
Yes,
follow. All
yes.
right. So, what you all been waiting for? Okay, it's our review of Miss Lauren and Mr. O'Ryan.
Oh,
Did I or did I not tell y'all last week? Didn't I? Okay,
definitely did.
sure did. So, let's backtrack. They are getting ready to go from Cancun, and the rest of the couples notice that Lauren does not have her ring on and he does. And so there's trouble in paradise because they're not privy to the conversation that they had in their room with Pastor Cal before they fly back off from Cancun back to Denver. Basically, for those that did not know, he wanted to end the marriage because of a racial joke that she made among a different situation. And I got into that last week. So I'm not going to rehash. I'm going to talk about what happened on this episode. So they get back.
Can we just,
Sure.
because the Redskin comment was awful.
Mhm.
It's offensive. And like I said before, I mean, she should be more aware. She lives on the West Coast where, the team was, they had a whole team change their name and all of that.
Absolutely.
All of that. But also the history behind the Redskin, I looked it up, and that is the scalping story that he told is not the history behind it.
Fine.
Yes. Let me actually
us and our listeners.
Yeah, I will. Absolutely. Let's see where it does. It comes from literally their skin, not any type of scalping thing. And let me just, because it was coined by somebody named Goddard in like the 18th century.
Okay.
Or the 1800s, one of those.
Educate our listeners.
In history. Because I'm sure this was a huge search after.
I'm sure because it made me feel some type of way. If that's in fact what it was, right?
The origin of the term redskin is controversial and disputed. Some evidence suggests that it derived from Native American phrases involving the color red in terms for flesh, skin, and man. The term was first recorded in English in 1769. However, some argue that it became a derogatory term in the 1880s when the federal government offered bounties for Native American scalps. The term is also the name of an NFL team since 1933. However, what I saw was that it referenced their skin, and that was the first time that it was used. Now, I'm sure that, but I don't know. what I saw yesterday, it was coined by someone with the last name Goddard.
Okay, but let me jump in
G-A-R-D.
here because I don't think
I'm
that
not minimizing anything,
no
by
no
the way,
no 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 no.
because
I know you're not. My thing is
but it just
my thing is, like I've said on last episode, last Thursday was I stand with him because we don't get to tell them how they feel about a term.
no, we don't. However,
No.
I think that it's a bit I don't know, disingenuous, a little bit
Could
to
be. But that's why we were going to get into it.
okay.
So let's get into it.
Because
Well,
when you
I'm
when
not
you
going to
say
tell somebody
no,
what their
look, when
truth
you
is, what
no,
they
and
feel.
I'm not either. However, when you say though on national television that your wife is like a racist
He didn't
and
say that.
he all but did. He alluded to
Racial
that.
slur that he corrected her on and that she profusely apologized. Here's the thing, and let's get into it.
Mom, mom.
This is why we podcast because we're going to
Listen, but
have to
because I don't,
sometimes
I
agree to
really
disagree.
don't agree.
So here's what happened. So basically, for those that didn't watch the episode and did not see my episode last week, the two of them were in Cancun enjoying their honeymoon. They were vibing, and honestly, it appeared they were coming together lovely. And for those who don't know, this is two fluid people, right? He is Native American and she's African American, and they were put together because he seemingly has a more feminine energy. She has a more masculine energy, and they felt like it would be like kind of like a match made in heaven. I thought so too. They were really vibing, and they were very careful about language and being safe and checking in and using all those good buzzwords that you do, like if you have ever been in therapy. So they were in the hot tub, and she had already told him things about like the bonnet, schooling him on the whole African American female experience. He was totally listening. And then he tells her the thing that hurts him about the Redskin comment. And she's like, I've never heard that and didn't know. He proceeds to tell her that it was a very derogatory term that hurt him and his people very much. Instead of her really taking that in, she's like, oh, I see, because your skin is red. Well, that burnt him up. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
And it was insensitive.
It was.
It was ignorant. And we all can be. You know what I mean? Like, I said last week that though I stand with Native Americans on, you don't have to accept that, just like us, like I've said, because who couldn't understand it more than our culture? Because God knows African Americans, we growing up, I shared that I grew up in a very predominantly white town, and there were things thrown at me that I didn't even know was derogatory until I became older and wiser, right? So there's a lot that we have to unpack as minorities, and that's okay. The thing is that I was shocked, but she went there and it turned him off.
And did.
Fast forward to the dinner, and they were talking about to get into the intimacy aspect of their relationship. And he had said that he had not had sex for a year and change because to him, sex means a lot. He can't just give himself to anyone. And she proceeds, and he asked her, well, when was the last time he had sex? And she says 2 months ago. Well, for those that don't know, prior to getting on the show, it took about that amount of time to actually get there for them to get chosen and find a mate. So he considered himself engaged, and he was appalled at her answer. Okay, so we have to wrap this up pretty quick. But so let's just say that was her issue. They get into a fight. She keeps him all night. She's a little aggressive. It triggers him because of his time of having an abusive stepfather where he had to protect his mom and stepsister. And though they speak to the experts, Dr. Pia and then again Dr. Cal, He says he can get past it and he gives her grace, but clearly he does not. We get back into the States. We're in Denver. It's time to move in. He does not. He wants his space. They decide to not move in together. And
Right.
it is very confusing for Lauren, but she's willing to rock with it. Okay. So I told you guys last week that my opinion was that the argument behind him accusing her of not being as committed to this process because she casually had sex 2 months prior to was what really set it off. Okay.
Yeah. No, that sealed the nail in the coffin for sure.
Totally. And but a further aside is she was so put off by that and insulted that she kept him all night arguing about, is that what you're calling me? You know, I don't feel safe with you. How dare you? You're judging me. He was just beat down and said, you know what? I don't even care. 2 months. Yep. That's cool. Yep. You good. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
But what she didn't realize is the impact on him was that anytime I disagree with you, we're going to have like an all night affair of arguments, and I can't live like that.
Yeah.
My opinion, Bria.
Huh?
My opinion was what sealed the deal for him was after he decided, he took a stance and talked about it, that she was very insulted. She kept him up all night arguing about, how dare you judge me? We're supposed to give each other grace, blah, blah, blah. And he relented and said, you're right. 2 months ain't no big thing. You got it. But the truth was, deep down inside, his thought is, if I stay with this woman, anytime that I disagree with her, she's going to come for me in a way that I am completely uncomfortable with. On to you, Bria.
I think that was his way out. I think that he saw an angle and he took it. I don't think, like I said, there's a theme that goes on here in the Married at First Sight universe, where the husband sees the wife and they're like, oh my gosh, I have this beautiful wife, in front of like the friends and the family and everything. But when they get behind closed doors, they're like way more reserved, and they're like, oh, actually, I don't know. You know, and I think that he was looking for a way out. It just baffles me that you couldn't. Now, I could understand if it was someone a little bit more out of touch, but a Black woman.
Agree.
We know. We understand.
She could have got there easy, because we understand, right? We totally
more than anybody else, baby. We do.
Amen.
We understand. So you can't say like, well, she's just insensitive. She doesn't get, like, I mean, education is a thing. Like, you educate people to,
and it's okay to educate, because there's so much, you know, and there's cultural differences. There's,
absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
even
no,
it's from black to black. You know, there's lots of things.
There's like this. There's, you know, it's disputed. Like,
of course, and that's okay. It's conversational, and if you're in a relationship,
it's controversial where the term is coined from. It was first, you know, transcribed in a letter from a British lieutenant talking about Native Americans, like in the upper Mississippi area.
Right.
That's the first time it was coined. Now, yes, there are reports that the scalping is true.
It's attributed to the Redskins.
Right.
All right.
I'm not
because we have 5 minutes left on the podcast, but I will say this. Basically, he never got past it. And when Dr. Pia came to talk to them at their new apartment, he sincerely asked for a divorce. It was over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lauren was completely shut down.
Yeah.
It's a shame. But we're going to talk more about it next week. So I want you guys to tune in next Thursday. Come on back and talk to us. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Listen, guys. This is our thing. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you want to talk about, we're down to talk about. Because we love all things reality and pop culture. Tune in on Saturday for our pop culture segment. Trust me, we got lots to unpack there too. But thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, because my beautiful daughter's here with me. she will be from now on. So come on
I
back,
know.
y'all. Come on
Yes.
back. Alleged actually.
Yes. Bye, actualizers. Love you.
Bye, guys. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the support. We do. Thank you. Good night, guys.
Night.